Hey Greg, good morning. I think you're on mute.
Okay, great. Hi guys, how you doing?
You're doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you. All right, waiting for JD, and
Yes.
yeah, I did not get into the Daiwa app, but I did the wireframes and have a lot of not a lot, just a few adjustments and some questions about how things are set up.
Okay.
Hey John.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, John. Yeah, Milan will be joining in few minutes.
Jish,
Was that?
are we expecting anyone else from your side?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Milan.
Milan.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course.
He'll be joining in a few minutes.
Okay.
Binu, do you think we should get started?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can probably start with the website feedback if Greg or John have any, and how we are doing with the testing from your side.
Yeah, Greg or John, did you get any time to test the website?
I did. John, did you?
I didn't have much time to look at it since Friday.
Okay.
All right, so if
So,
major for you to report, yeah, we can, and all the minor items that you feel you can put them in a spreadsheet, or Binu, you could share a Google sheet with Greg and John where they can.
I just John has created a Git account to report all the bugs. He has sent an invite.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I
We
forgot
can
that.
start using that.
Yeah, I put something in GitHub and I sent invites.
Yeah, I have joined. Milan, I think Milan has also joined.
Yeah, we received. So I just missed that part. So yeah, let's start putting issues on the GitHub. All right. So the first item for today is the wireframes that we had shared. Have you reviewed that from last week?
Is that for the AT?
Yeah, for the AT app.
Yeah, I don't have much feedback on it. mean, I thought they looked okay. Functionality wise, Greg really has a lot more insight into that than I do.
I actually have quite a few things. And
Discuss them right now.
yeah, first of all, the way people are going to join an AT app, there's going to be the athletic trainers, the ATs, and then they're going to be their clients, which are either going to be individual athletes or teams. And most of the setting for most of the activity for the AT app is going to be through schools, and hopefully some professional teams as well. So there should be, obviously we have to invite people who aren't on UB Sports into the AT app, and the people who are on UB Sports need to be invited either individually or as teams into the athletic trainers world, I guess, for lack of a better word. And there should be ways that the athletic trainer can build a list of the teams that he's responsible or she's responsible for. And this is something that I didn't see when I was going through it at all. There's ways to invite individuals and teams, but it doesn't. I didn't see anything that actually was a list of the teams that I'm responsible for as an athletic trainer. You know, in one group, as opposed to keep you having to search for the teams that you're working with. So that's something that I think we need a screen for and the capability of doing. So as I was going through, first of all, John, have you seen the wireframes at all?
I glanced through them.
Okay. One thing, obviously, the most clear difference is that everything's green. And I was wondering if that is a good thing or a bad thing to use green as opposed to the colors that we've been using. I don't know if KP has looked at this and what she thinks.
Yeah, Melinda, are these designs or wireframes?
These are actually designs.
Actual design? Okay.
Yeah. So that's not a problem, Greg. If you want the color theme to be changed, then it can be done. That's fine.
Well, I was sort of hoping to lean on you guys for that, but you know, our colors are those red and blue colors that we got from our logo designers, and
Yeah, I mean, I would try to stick with the same color theme and fonts, and the same styles. You know, for things like bullets, headings, stuff like that. I would try to keep the styles consistent through all of the apps and stuff with the site.
yeah,
Okay, so as you know, UB Sports app doesn't have much of a red-blue combo because the major portion of the app is basically white. Apart from the logo and headings and all those stuff, major portion of the app is white. So do you want us to stick with the white for the app or just replace this green with red and blue combination? How do you guys want us to do?
I'm leaning towards staying with the red and the blue combination. John, you agree, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a branding perspective, you want to kind of keep it the same across all our apps.
That's my feeling. I agree.
Greg, I have a question though. You said something about the athletic trainer bringing their kind of clients and team members into the app. I know that for the fitness app, the only people using that app are the actual fitness trainers. not their clients. Is this going to be the same for the athletic trainer app?
I believe that everyone should be on UB Sports, and the athletic trainer is plucking the people out of UB Sports, so they're all UB Sports members, and the idea is that we should be able to the athletic trainer should incorporate these groups into his umbrella, so he can.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify because you said he was going to send an invite to bring them into the app. So these people aren't actually going to sign up and sign into the app.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, they're just coming under his umbrella or her umbrella.
Okay.
And right, everyone's running through UB Sports. That's the whole concept. So you're absolutely right, John. So I'm going to share my screen and find the right one. Okay, you guys see this?
Yes.
So there are, my first question is, in order to get to this app, this is going to be on the Apple App Store, right? If so, there has to be, the first thing that the AT is going to do is that they're going to get to a screen, and the screen needs to have the athletic trainer verify. If they came through that the Apple App Store, the first thing they're gonna have to do is have to validate that they're an athletic trainer or a trainer who's being professionally or a professional trainer who just doesn't have their athletic trainer certification, but is being but is a professional trainer. So a lot of corporations don't require an athletic trainer to have their AT license in order to be a trainer. So they still get access to the athletic trainer app, but there has to be approval or validation by their supervisor, the company they're working for. So those two instances need to be where you click in here and you fill in your email address, you load in a password, but the first thing that has to happen is that we have to validate as soon as you do that you're an athletic trainer.
Well, that's done through the website or the app, right? Right,
exactly. One way or the other. And that's my first question is, when does that happen? There's no app screen made for that yet. So if you go to the Apple App Store, you're going to come to a page on your phone, right? So we need a screen that actually says, if you're an athletic trainer or a trainer, please validate through your license number with the NATA or through your something from your supervisor. So that would have to be some kind of a note that gets sent, an email that gets sent to their supervisor where they have to approve. And if it's an athletic trainer, it's going to come to us, and we will go to the Athletic Trainers Association to prove that, to validate their license and that it's up to date and everything.
Yeah, Craig, that's all happening in the website.
Okay, okay, so will the athletic trainer see not be able to go to the App Store directly to join? That's my question.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be able to join directly from the App Store anyway. I mean, the App Store doesn't provide any functionality other than allowing them to download your app. And
that's what I'm saying, is that as soon as they download the app, then what?
Well, your language in the store, every app has a write-up. You would have to say, in order to use this app, you have to be a verified trainer, blah, blah, blah. So, set up your account at UB Sports and request verification. I wrote that process up for you a while back.
There's no link that goes directly from the App Store into a screen on your phone. That's my question.
Well, it could potentially have a link to the UB Sports website.
That's what I'm saying. If we do that, I think that's what we have to do, or the UB Sports app in that case.
Yes, Greg. So over our previous calls, we had decided to keep the registration and the verification parts in the main UB Sports app.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, so once the user verify himself as a trainer in the UB Sports app, then only he can actually use this app. We can actually give a informational text or a link or something over here to like assist users like who all can use this app, to give them a general information in order to use this app, what all things you have to actually do before using this app.
Right.
So basically the step comes from UB Sports main application where they can actually verify or request you guys to verify them as a trainer by entering their details like NATA number or something like that. So if you can provide me the information that you guys are collecting for a trainer to be get verified from the UB Sports, that would be helpful because we can then accommodate that screens in the main UB Sports app.
Yeah, that's the instance that I see it. You know, we have to make sure that we're covering that. If it shows up in the App Store, then we have to provide a way to get to that validation.
No, only information that I remember is something like an NATA number for the trainer, athletic trainer. Apart from that, if there are any other like informations or something, details that you need to collect.
Yeah, I did post kind of a narrative of the process for trainers. It's very similar for both an athletic trainer and fitness trainer in that they have to be approved by a UB Sports personnel. A human basically has to approve that through the dashboard that they're an athletic trainer or a fitness trainer. And then once they have that approval, once somebody, clicks the box that says they're approved, then they're allowed to log in to the apps, either the fitness app or the athletic trainer app. Greg, the language in the stores would have to be written up so that people know that, in order to download or use the app, you have to go through that sign-up process on UB Sports.
Okay.
So you could direct them there. You could also do it in a way such that if they attempt to log in the app, that you give them some sort of a message that says, hey, you're a UB Sports member, but you need to be verified, and then tell them how to do that. Or just not say you're not a member, you have to sign up at UB Sports and go through a certain process. But I don't think we should build that into the app.
Okay, that's fine. As long as there's a link there, as I said, if there's a link here that says you need to be validated if you're not already a member or not already an AT signed up with the AT app or UB Sports.
Yeah, I have to look and see if the Apple Store allows you to actually add a link in your description of the app.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. That would save that problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that you can really put links in the description.
I think you can actually. Anyway, we'll research that and try to figure that out. But that's something we have to worry about. We're not worried about. Just consider that an eventuality. Okay, so once we conquer that, my schedules looked proper. I like how you have that, and that's all fine. Now on this calendar, if there are more than one thing going on the 6th, let's say, you're going to have some kind of number there, so we know that it's more than just one event on that day. Is that what we're doing? You're just like marking it. That's today's the 6th, so that's why it's showing up like that.
Yeah, for now, the yellow circle means that that one is selected or it's today. That's it. But if you want, we can add a number just like in the main English Sports app.
Yeah, if we can keep that consistent, that would be smart.
Yeah, I can do that. That's
Good. So that's on page 3. Okay, so then edit event schedule, that made sense. And you have here create schedule, then you have choose a training group. Obviously, there has to be a click here. If you're new to it, you won't know that you have to actually have a group set up first, or you have to find a group or set up a group. So there probably should be something here for either in the drop down where it says choose from these groups, or find a group or set up a group.
Yep.
And I was concerned that you didn't have an area or a place to set up the areas, but you had that way at the back of the Figma. So I got to it and I was okay, good. Okay, that looked all normal. Now you're searching here for UB Sports members. How do you know if you're searching for UB Sports members or members that are already UB Sports members and under your guidance?
I didn't get that question. Basically, this screen is actually for selecting members for your particular training group, right? So all the users listed will be the UB Sports members. So you can pick multiple users from there, then add them to your group. That's how, once you are inside your group, then you can create teams or kind of stuff like training activities, all those stuff. So basically, this is a place where the trainer is actually selecting users from the main UB Sports community.
Okay, so I think what is there another page here where you're seeing the members who are already under your guidance? I was thinking maybe you want to have search, have 2 tabs up here. One tab for members of my practice, and then search members. So if I'm searching for members, I'm looking for people on UB Sports, and then you click here and there's people who are already under your guidance. Make sense?
So under your guidance means already in the already in your group, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that can be actually marked, denoted by the tick mark itself, right? We won't actually need an extra tab, because anyway we have a detailed page for the group where we can actually see who all are inside the group, like members of the group.
Right.
So this is the area where you when you're creating new members, like new group, you are adding the members. So here it doesn't, that group is not created yet. So this is the page where you are actually in the process of creating a group. So if you go through the other screens.
So you're creating a schedule, but now you have to create a group for the schedule.
Oh, sorry. So you are actually inside this create schedule area, right? Then it will be the members who are actually in the training group will be listed.
Okay, as long as they're people who are already under your guidance. That's
Yes.
and,
Yes.
okay. That's good. And so keep that in mind that we need also to have the group that's under your guidance and then another um, outreach into the whole UB Sports population. I thought you might have had that already, but let's check it out. So creating a schedule. Here you have creating a schedule for an individual, and that's you're reaching out to either your group of individuals or the UB Sports population. And here you're talking about a group, so you're reaching into a team. That made sense. And these are the groups that are, again, the question is, are these groups already under your management, or are you looking out to the groups and teams on UB Sports already?
No, these are the groups which you have created. You are managing your own training groups.
Okay, so
The other groups from the UB Sports community won't be visible inside this app. Only the groups which you are managing will be, you are creating and managing will be visible inside that. We don't want to actually make the data redundant or make the process redundant, right? So the functionality should be completely discrete for this app.
So okay, so obviously we're reaching into the UB Sports population. One of the things that I think we need to do is expect that, let's say my football team, my high school football team is already signed up as a group on UB Sports, right? We have to be able to take that group and bring it into my guidance, my umbrella. So there should also be find groups here. Not just searching groups, but also finding groups that are already set up on UB Sports. That's supposed to be the beauty of UB Sports, is that, there are a lot of things you can do and connections that you can make. And that's one of the things I think we have to do. So just, have search groups and then find groups on UB Sports. So it needs to be 2 clicks there, or 2 options there.
What I suggest is
you have here, you have edit group, manage group, and delete group. There all should be find group under here.
Okay. What I suggest is instead of find group, we can actually use import like
import's fine.
Yeah. So that must be the actual purpose, right? We can actually import users from already existing group on UB Sports to your group.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario, is that there are 50 athletes already on UB Sports, and instead of going to pick those 50 athletes and the manager and the coach and everybody, you just go to here and you import the group into the training room.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be pretty easy. You already have this this tab down at the bottom, or the set of tabs on the bottom. So we can just add import group and then find it and do it.
Yeah. That actually needs to go inside the create group process, not here, Greg, or the edit group info. That I understood the requirement. That's fine.
Okay. So then you're sorting the groups at which is fine. That's hopefully we'll have this that'll be a case. We have 100 groups and the AT has to search through them. That'd be nice. So now you have sort by alphabetical. This is just showing how it would work, right? And then you're creating a group. This is a group that isn't already formed, that you're forming out of the UB Sports population, and you're bringing them in, or the AT, even the AT app population, and you're creating a group for that team, right?
Yeah, so basically you are creating a training group, and here this is a screen for creating a training group, the initial process.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the landing page for the group that you create. So the functionality import can be inside this members area. You can directly go inside the members area, and you can just, once you create the group, you can just go to the members area and you can directly import members from a existing group on UB Sports. That can be included over there.
Right. So yeah, it'd be great if, we keep this kind of look consistent from the UB Sports app when you have a team, and the AT app, have it look, the same kind of look for all the members. And you have invite, and that's you. This is for you're inviting people into the team, or explain this one, please. I don't understand what this means.
Yeah, so basically this invite is actually the functionality, same functionality with the groups in UB Sports. You can search members and send them an invite, because only trainer can invite or add members to this group, right? So this is for that functionality. You can directly add or send an invite to members, or if you want, you can use email also, so that the same functionality in the UB Sports groups.
Okay.
Invite function. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, again, we want to keep things as consistent as possible. Number one, so you guys don't have too much to do twice, or duplicate your efforts. But secondly, to have the same look and feel for all the members as they're going along. I like the videos here. When we have videos here under this team, let's say, this group, is this going to be videos from the group, or is this videos? I'm trying to figure out why we have videos here.
So basically, once you have a like a group, a training group, you can add videos. The same functionality in the groups of UB Sports. You can add videos and create separate playlists for inside the groups, right? So if I'm making a group, a training group for like my like Academy A or something, you can add related videos and create playlist, so that everybody inside the group can actually see and access what all training videos or stuff you have added. So that's why we have a video section here.
Yeah, to me it makes sense if you are saying that this is how you're going to either as a trainer, you're finding videos off of YouTube or in our own directory, or you want to upload a video for how these people should be training to stretch before a match, to eat, nutrition before a match, that kind of stuff. Those are the kind of videos that I would think would be smart to have as an athletic trainer as videos on this page.
Yes, the functionality is actually in the to do that.
Good. So, one of the things that I want to make sure is that we make it clear to the trainer what these, what is supposed to happen here. If we have a question about it, they're really going to have questions about it. So I want to make sure that it's clear, even if it's, a question mark that someone can click to have a pop-up to find out what it really means.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And here you're managing the teams that are under your guidance, right?
Yes.
Okay. And here again, we have to have invite teams in case we can't find the team that we thought we had in here. And here you're creating teams. So we're going back to here. If the team didn't exist, then you have to create the team.
Yes.
So it'd be smart if we had, this functionality almost the same as the created a group functionality on the UB Sports app, since, we're working on the same kind of culture, so to speak.
Yeah, it's actually somewhat similar to the group creation, but instead we are creating a team inside a group.
Right. Now we're back to searching and inviting members. So we can use the same functionality we used in the UB Sports app. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're going to use the same tools as we're using in the UB Sports app.
Yeah, this is the same homepage without any videos.
Right.
So we can actually change this informational text and all those things. Add your first sports or training video that can be like.
Right.
We can, yeah.
And the manage area part is going to take you to a whole separate thing that's later on in these 42 slides. I saw that before. Events, and add an event, and it could be individual training for John or team training, right? And then you have end, start, end, and this start at and end at. This is something that is really interesting because it can cover a whole season. You know, you want the football team to come down every Tuesday. So I can see how that would make a lot of sense. There are also a lot of trainers have open training room hours. When, you know, if you are either a student or an athlete, you know that you can come into the training room at any particular day. So it might be smart to have hours for, and it's not an event or anything. It's just saying, you know, we're open for business between 9 and 6, Monday to Friday. And I don't know where you'd put that, but it's a thought that we should be thinking about, because they do that actually in schools. You usually see a board out front of the athletic trainer's office that says, you know, we're in between 9 and 5 unless there is a match we're at or a game we're at. So if we can figure out a way to present that to the teams, to the members under the trainer, it would be smart. And I don't know where we would do that, but I think it might be something that we just send out on a weekly basis. The athletic trainer would just send out, my hours this week are 9 to 5, except for Thursday, I'm at a lacrosse match. So that would just be, frankly, I would think that would just be a message that we can send out, like we do all the other messages, you know, across the system. That would just say, I'm open for business, you know, again, 9 to 5, except for Thursday or whatever. And if we could set up a prompt for the athletic trainer on a Sunday, let's say, so that they can set up their week and send out, you know, their hours to the members. So it would be nice if we could figure out a way to do that. It's pretty straightforward. It's really just.
Wouldn't you find that maybe on the group page?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe on the group page for the athletic trainer themselves.
Yeah, let us think about that, where it actually fits or how it should come into play inside it too. So maybe we can have a section where to decide or tell, like, where we can actually select open hours. Let us think about that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, so on 20, okay, so it says add event and all this stuff. It doesn't say what area.
So basically, the area is for scheduling for the schedules. Events are basically kind of similar to what we have in UB Sports. So basically, we have a training group, right? We have schedules for individuals as well as teams. But if we have a bigger or larger stuff like an event, That's where we actually select this. If you want, we can also add, I mean, like also add area, selection of area inside this event also. That's
Yeah, that we do need something here so that the where it says event title is going to be John comes to the training room between 3 and 4 in the afternoon, and then there should be a way to allocate the area in this. I'm going to get an ice bath.
John, no, sorry, Greg, but that's actually the functionality of creating a schedule, right? Not an event. What you're suggesting?
Okay, so then I'm
I mean,
confused.
we can add an option for selecting area over here, like for an event. But the main functionality of this app is to create schedules for individuals as well as teams. So in that portion, we have already covered all these functionalities. Do you want to like repeat the same functionality for events? It's pretty easy thing, but we can add it. But I was just asking whether we want to repeat that.
Okay, that's we're talking about events.
Events are on a larger scale, like an event is happening at this school, or I mean, like where I'm training, an event is happening.
Like a game.
So yeah, it doesn't need to be like an area, a spa or something, right? When an event is happening, but yeah, we can add an option to add an area. That's fine. But the areas are generally uh, like locker room or spa or something like that, right?
Right. Okay. So then you have adding an event, you have this. Makes sense. Then you get into the playlist for the videos. They said this is something we're going to need because the trainer will either be looking for playlists for athletic trainers for ankle injuries, knee injuries, hip injuries, that kind of stuff. So the playlists for trainers are going to be pretty specific. You're going to have those things in there. So playlist 1, ankle. Playlist 2, wrists.
Yeah, that name can be actually edited while creating the playlist.
Yeah, that's good. So theoretically, we'll have them already in our video system, but then there also obviously should be, as you have plus here, makes a lot of sense. So to add playlists and add videos. So I can add my own ankle injury recovery video, right?
Yes.
And then you have the playlist that you started, and of course there should be like an add your own video up here or something, or import videos from YouTube or whatever.
Does every video have to be part of a playlist?
No.
Yes, actually,
That's a good question.
yes. Actually, it's yes.
Yeah,
Everything
it does have
should be
Can a video be part of more than one playlist?
Yeah, that can be added according to your need. Because when you're creating a playlist or editing a playlist, you can just add a video, right? So the system doesn't know whether it's being repeated or being added separately, or yeah.
Yeah, you just copy and link
I
them.
think you definitely want videos to be able to be in more than one playlist.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm wondering if we should have kind of an uncategorized section of videos for videos that don't appear in a playlist.
Okay.
Yeah. But how it is being handled in the current UB Sports website,
Yeah, and
I
you
think-
playlist.
I don't think playlists were in UB Sports at all.
Yeah, we do have playlists. Whenever you, actually, the way I have it set up in UB Sports is that every time you, the way it starts is just say add a playlist, and you start by building a playlist, and then you add videos into that playlist. Okay. Okay, I can't show it to you right now. But
My concern is that over time, a user will upload a lot of one-off videos. So I'll have a video that I'll upload now, and it doesn't really fit into any of the playlists I have. So I create a new playlist for it, and it'll be the only video in that playlist. So if I do that 50 times over the course of a year, I'm going to have 50 playlists that each contain just one video. And that just seems like that's kind of cumbersome. So it would be that there should be a way to have like uncategorized videos, so that those 50 videos would just be in a group of uncategorized. In other words, it could be a generic built-in playlist that's just called uncategorized or something.
well, it would be then under John Daniels' playlist, like generic playlist for John Daniels.
Something like that, yeah. Like, I don't think you want to force people to have to choose a playlist for the videos.
I think if they uploaded it or are uploading it into ours or linking it from YouTube, it should just be in their own playlist, right? And probably you want to start off with like a my playlist thing when you're uploading a video, a one-off video, like you say.
I'm thinking specifically here for the trainer right now, but like I don't know how that really works, where it's like, oh, my videos or whatever. But anyway, it's something for you to give a little more thought to, Greg, I think.
All right, well, I'll definitely think about it. That's yeah, it's a good point. I think the athletic trainer might have. I can't imagine them when they would want to, because it seems like you would want to have, nutrition playlist or injury recovery playlist. I don't see where you would want to have an individual one-off playlist as an athletic trainer, because you're theoretically guiding your clients one way or another in either, sports psychology or nutrition or recovery or injury prevention, stretching. There's always going to be a category for the videos that you as an AT are loading. But yeah, I think every user should have an opportunity to have their own playlist. And if they didn't categorize or set up a playlist, it should automatically go into their own playlist. And then they can pick, if they do decide to set up a playlist and they want to incorporate that video into that playlist, it should be a way to.
I think in the case of an athletic trainer, that doesn't really fit, because if the athletic trainer goes to UB Sports and uploads a video highlight of the Super Bowl, for example, you don't want that showing up within his training videos.
Right. It would be just as easy for that person for the AT to have something without a playlist and just have, everything just falls under their playlist.
Yeah, so that wouldn't work for the one-off video.
It's true. But then it's just as easy just to have them have their own playlist, just like any other member. And when a member doesn't set up a playlist, obviously they should be prompted to set up a playlist. But if they decline, you just say no playlist, and it ends up in your own playlist, in your own, personal playlist under John Daniel's playlist. So I don't think it's a problem because you're still keeping it in a playlist, but it's just instead of having a category for it that you've created.
I don't want my member playlist to show up as part of the training videos that my clients are seeing.
So then maybe it'd be the training rooms video playlist.
Yeah, I think you need like an uncategorized, like, I don't know, maybe that in itself is a playlist that they could define if they need it. They could create a playlist that's uncategorized, right?
Yeah.
And it would contain it, but okay.
And then you can link that into a playlist you either have or create later.
All right. Okay. All right.
That's a good tweet. Okay, and here you're creating the playlist. So maybe here, instead of having, well, alongside enter playlist name, you can just have uncategorized, right?
Well, I don't think you would list it as uncategorized. They would either not choose a play. I mean, if they're creating a playlist, that's one thing, but
they come to the screen, right? So
when they add the video and it gets to the playlist prompt, they're going to either choose an existing playlist or they're going to add a new playlist, or they're not going to select a playlist at all. Those are the three things that the user is going to be able to do.
right. So in which case, you should actually what it should do is just say, instead of saying no playlist, it should be a generic training room playlist. In this case, because we're talking about every, everyone needs a trainer.
Why give it that name if that name's not going to apply? I mean, they're just loose videos, they're orphan videos.
Well, we have to assign it to somebody. So it's either going to be that person individually as an athlete, just a person, a UB Sports member, or they're going to be a trainer. And if they're a trainer, they're going to have a training room. That's their practice, right? So there's no reason why it shouldn't just be in the training room video. I can't see why you wouldn't want to just have it.
Yeah, I mean, we can call it whatever we want then, but to me, the user has three distinct options. The trainer has three distinct options. They can either add it to an existing playlist, they can add it to a new playlist that they create on the fly, or they can choose to not add it to a playlist. And whatever you call that group of videos that are not added to a playlist, is irrelevant really. But those are the three actions that a user can take.
Yeah, I think I'm under that the feeling that we need to have it described by or put it under the umbrella of the training room or the athletic trainer, because if then a member wants to search for those things, the first thing they can do is go to the training rooms app, the training rooms videos, which they're going to anyway if they're going to search the playlist.
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a call at 9, scheduled call at 9. So I'm leaving the meeting. Greg, I have few points to discuss with you, and what I'll do is after the call, I'll connect you, and that won't last 5 minutes.
No problem. I'll be around.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Drew.
you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, do we need to be in your discussions over the usage workflow or the design part, or can we take this offline and you and I mean, Greg and John brainstorm over it and come
Yeah,
back with.
you and I could discuss it later on.
Yeah, but I don't think we should wait till next week for the confirmation. So if you can, if we can find some time tomorrow or day after, for before which you can deliberate over all the screens and the usage, workflows, etc.
Okay.
We can start work on the app now, or else that'll cause a delay of a week.
Right. So how about Friday, same time? John and I'll work on it. I have about 10 more different adjustments that I see we need, or questions. So I can put them into Figma, or wherever you want them, GitHub or whatever.
Actually, Greg,
Yeah.
that would be actually helpful. If you can comment it over Figma, that would be really helpful. Otherwise, you can just put it in a text pad or something and send it in Slack also. That would be fine. Anything would be fine.
Yeah, you can. Let's follow the same old process. Let's put them all in Figma.
Okay.
And on Friday, we will, before coming to the meeting, we will go through the Figma comments, and if there's any clarification from either side, we'll quickly finish that on Friday, and we'll start work on Monday.
Okay. John, are you good Friday?
Is he on mute?
John, are you there?
Calendar, I think.
Yeah, I'm good for Friday.
Okay, good.
Okay. Excellent. So I'll schedule that. Do we have anything else from waiting from Greg's side? Oh yeah, the yoga app. If I remember correctly, we had signed up on the SRS a while ago. So do you think you need to go through that once again, just one more time, and before we start working on the wireframes for that?
Well, that's a good idea. I'll do that. I'll go through the SRS for the yoga app.
Sure. Yeah. If you want the latest SRS, I can forward it to you once again.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. And so yeah. So these are the two things we are waiting from your side, and we'll close it by Friday.
Okay. Also, Milan, can I ask you to once again? I'm sorry for this. Invite me into the DIOE system.
Invite you to what?
So I can so I can get into that DIOE system.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will provide a new build, Greg.
Yeah, that's unfortunately my fault. I got totally tied up over the weekend.
That's fine. That's fine. Because the link only like lasts for 3 days. After that, they will get. I mean, purge it from the system. So I'll provide you a new build today or tomorrow morning, our time.
Okay, I'll be watching for it. Thank you, Milan.
Yeah. Please keep an eye on Slack. I'll be posting it there. If you want, I can also email it to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
And if I can take a couple minutes, I have some feedback on the 2 email samples that Benu sent. The 2 emails, one was to verify your email address and the other was an invitation email.
Right.
Both of them have a button for the user to take action. One says, I think, verify email. The other says join group or something. But there should also be somewhere in the body of the message a tiny text link with some words that say, if the button doesn't work in your email, go to this URL. And it should just be the URL in text form that they can copy and paste into their browser. The other thing is the copyright line should have the year 2021 after the copyright symbol, and it should be UB Sports Inc. INC period.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, noted, John.
And I believe that we need a little more in the footer. I'm not sure from a design perspective if it should be above the copyright or below the copyright. But we need our full company name and physical address. Greg, you'll have to give them the PO box,
Sure.
whatever the official address is. That's a requirement in the US for spam regulations. You need a physical address in the email. And then the other, I believe that along with that in the footer, we need 4 links. We need an unsubscribe link. I don't believe that the verified email should have an unsubscribe link.
No.
But in the other email and any others that we develop should have an unsubscribe link. There should be a link to the privacy policy. There should be a link to our terms and conditions. And there should be a link, either a mail to link for them to contact someone, or a link to kind of a contact us page that would have information about how they can contact someone. Which may simply take them to a page on the site. That like an about page or something. And I forget if we even have that in the site. I don't know. But anyway, we need these things built into the footer of the emails. So that's my initial feedback on the email that you sent, Banu.
Okay, John, noted.
Okay. Yeah, there are already things in the footer of sports. And on there right now. Okay, so I'm missing what we have up right now. I'm pretty sure we have a couple of those things on it already. All right, we'll find that out. We'll get that information up on what's down at the bottom of the thing. Yeah, those are the ones that are most important. Also, there should be something there about us. And I think that's all we really need down at the bottom of that thing.
Not necessarily in the email, Greg.
No, that was on the site page itself.
Yeah.
All right, so that's cool. All right, anything else, guys?
Any questions from your side, Binu or Dylan?
I'll send you a bill, Greg.
And Greg, if you have seen, we have fixed the banner, broken banner on the website. Just update for you. And I'm sending you the SRS for the yoga app. If you can get it reviewed and signed off by Friday, that'll be excellent. So we'll start working on the wireframes, and yeah, you have the wireframe, the design.
Okay, that's good. On the UV unit on the front page that you have right now up is UV Sports on the Heroku app. You have curated content first, ambassador content second, and these this is under UV as UV Sports. This should be the main page, or UV Sports Live, I guess. us. Same thing as sports. And we have to make sure that we have the right things here. We have the events scheduled there, but really what we need there is the Twitter feeds and the main videos that are available here. So, and it seems like the My World and the groups are, I'm sorry, My World and UB Sports Live and the sports portal all have the same stuff up on the top header, top nav bar. So I'm assuming that this is not where we want to be right now, and that this is just a demo until we start putting in the proper tools where they belong.
Yes, yeah. So all the content we can manage before we launch the website, and I don't think the dev team is the right team to actually curate the final content for before launch. I think you should have your marketing team or someone to.
Good. As long as that's adjustable, that's great, Ajish. All right. Good. Thanks, gentlemen. I'll see you Friday, same time.
Excellent. See you all then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey,
Good
Greg,
one.
can you update me on the status of the Apple, Google, and Firebase stuff?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the Dunn's thing. Dun and Bradstreet hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Okay.
I'll
Right.
tag them again.
Okay. See ya.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, bye.
Okay, bye, Greg.